I know, it's hard to believe. Yet another elm. This is Catlin elm that I started several seasons ago as a cutting. It has grown fairly vigorously, doing a lot of what I want, but again, I was neglectful and let it get away from me. So I need to rediscover the front. I'll need to redefine the apex. I'm surprised I'm not overwhelmed with wire scars. I must not have been feeling well when I worked on this tree. So, general rule of thumb, anything that shoots straight up is too thick in the wrong spots, I eliminate. Pretty sure that was my original intent for the front of the tree. And this back branch is thick enough. This branch needs more length and more healing to get rid of that wire scar. This branch is pretty close to what I want. Now, work my way up the tree, and we start to run into dilemmas. This apex is out of control. Now, the interesting thing about the Catlin elm is that it's almost a semi-evergreen. It doesn't really want or need to go dormant. I'm sure there are people who object and disagree with me, but I've discovered it is not winter hardy at all on Long Island. So the few times I've tried to grow it in the ground, it's been a problem. Got a little hint, I don't know if you guys will be able to see that, little hint of root mealybug hiding under there. So that will require treatment in New York State if you're going to use any of the super duper restricted chemicals. You need to have a New York State pesticide applicator's license and the commercial degree, and then you can have it treated. Otherwise you have to use something over the counter. Another good way to kill bugs is to soak the plant underwater for 24 hours. And I mean underwater, the entire plant. And that will smother most things that are trying to make a living off your plant. And it doesn't bother the tree. So I've lost my line. I've lost the apex of the tree. So we're going to have to redefine it, which is going to mean another season of work. Now, one of the things that I'm doing that you might not be able to see is I'm paying attention to the direction that the dormant buds are facing, so that I can take advantage of them and not necessarily have to wire every little fraction of the tree. Really not happy with the apex. Too thick, going in too many different directions. Gonna see if I can make any corrections by changing the planting angle and working with that little piece as the new apex. Knowing that the tree is apical dominant, that guy should now think that he's running the show and should take over, which is a double-edged sword, because once he takes over, then I really have to stay on top of him. No hint of root mealybugs under here. No real problems with it being root bound. So Here's that weird parasite again. I don't know what the hell that is. It's the weirdest plant. It does not like sunlight. You put it in sunlight, it turns green and dies. Very, very strange. I've got one of my students at the New York Botanic Garden supposed to be looking into that for me, figure out what it is. So I think I want to go in a slightly larger container, maybe? I'm not sure. That was my original thought, is that I would go into one of these 8-inch mum pots. But that might give it more root run than I want, and then I'll end up with a problem with the apex again. So I think we'll go back. Now since I'm changing the planting angle, I'm going to mound the soil differently. Instead of a mound in the center, it's going to be on a diagonal, so that I can incline the front of the tree, try and reestablish a better apex, and then comb down these roots, and then we'll super thrive it, and just a touch of Osmocote. Really don't want this one going crazy with new growth. That noise you hear in the background is my assistant watering, well, actually fertilizing my chrysanthemum stock plants. At some point you'll see some chrysanthemum videos from me. I have a request to do a propagation video. I already did one on the beginnings of the Japanese cascades, which are different from bonsai cascades, and I suck at doing the chrysanthemum cascades. But I've got some seedlings that I developed that I'm testing, and we'll see what happens. So a little bit of Osmocote. He's pruned back, and now it's a matter of hurry up and wait. Bonsai teaches you many things, and if you don't learn patience from bonsai, then you're incapable and you need to find a new hobby. So this is where you're supposed to say like and subscribe, go to town, have fun, and start working on your trees.